Online visibility is not luck, it's a strategy. Combine SEO, digital PR, and content distribution to grow. Visit adz.com to learn more.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
This is you without Collaborator. Invisible, just another seagull. And this is you with Collaborator. Get noticed in the AI era.
Hi, so GEO, AEO, EIEIO today. We all get the picture. Search is changing. And my experience of this recently has been on a recent trip to Japan that I took, where once I would go straight to Google. And now what I find myself doing is I'm going to ChatGPT. I'm looking at some stuff on AI overviews. I'm having a little scroll on TikTok or Reels. But even though my end destination is still usually Google, which in my case was a karaoke bar in downtown Osaka, my journey on how I got there has changed drastically. And I'm not alone. AI usage for trip inspiration has risen to 80% since 2023. 84% of those who have been using AI are satisfied with it and will use it again. And we're seeing triple-digit growth in AI usage for travel amongst 18 to 34-year-olds. Now, there's a clear shift in user behavior that we're seeing, and it's not slowing down. Even though LLMs are making up a fraction of share search today, they're predicted to outpace traditional search by tenfold in 2020 and 2030. So my question for those that are working, not just in the digital PR space, but in the SEO space, is why are backlinks still one of the main indicators of success? Especially when you're considering that measuring impact is one of the most difficult things we're able to do when we're offering digital PR. And on top of this, recent studies, such as this one from Hrefs, is showing us that it's not links, it's not branded anchors, it's not number of backlinks, it's actually branded web mentions that are having the biggest correlation when appearing your brand in LLM search engines. But yes, links are still important, they're always going to be, but we need to adapt to this changing landscape, and we need to understand that digital PRs as SEO, just how what we're doing contributes towards AI search visibility as a whole. And in order to do this, you need to have an understanding of how digital PR is affecting AI search results. And what I want to talk about today is really how these AI search engines are perceiving brands as entities, just like traditional search engines do. But the main difference is how they're organizing and returning the information. If you think about traditional search, it's kind of like a bookshelf, right? You store information in books, which is your website, and when you need something, you look it up exactly as it's written on your page. When we're talking about LLMs, it doesn't remember exact texts, but it's more concepts and relationships, which is making it good at generalizing, but sometimes it's prone to error. As we saw when Google AI Overviews recently rushed out, well, last year now, rushed out their AI Overviews feature, they were telling people to eat rocks, put glue on pizza, bit of a mess. But the reason it's returning this information, and recognizing information, is through a number of ways, but what I want to talk to you about today is how it does this through knowledge graphs and named entity recognition, and how this helps connect and retrieve information. So when you're looking at a knowledge graph, or how these AI search engines understand information, you've got to think it's all about connecting the dots. So your brain kind of works in a similar fashion. And you see here, like we have the nodes, Spain, destinations, travel. Your brain works like this as well, and it joins the dots. And it, once you recall one idea, it knows what's related to that, and it will bring it all together. Now, knowledge graphs connect these ideas in the same way, but when it actually comes to understanding what these ideas are and bringing it together, that's slightly different. if we look at this example from a ChatGPT result, for those of you that don't know who won the Wimbledon in 2016, female championships, Serena Williams, she won her 7th Wimbledon title on July the 10th, 2016. Now, when we're talking about how AI search engines understand this information, we're looking at named entity recognition. And what this is, it's the process of basically understanding items, labels like people, locations, events, dates. And then what we're able to do from this, or what the search engines do, is they bring this together, they highlight the named things, and then when this is backed up by citations, third-party publications, social media mentions, all these kind of things, that's reinforcing that information to the search engines and helping return the results like you see here. So, AI search engines, what we're taking away from this is they understand names and entities. If you back this up by citations, links, social signals, this helps prioritize the results. So in theory, if you can get these publications citing you as a source, then you should be able to help influence the results. I'm going to run you through a few ways that we've been doing this at Minty. Now, we work primarily in the travel niche, so this is where most of the examples I'm going to show you are around this. But the first tip I want to share with you today is reverse engineering prompts. Now, whether you do this manually or by using software, the way we do this is that we take a traditional list of keywords that we've been targeting through SEO means. We then use that and generate a list of questions to help feed into LLMs. Now, something that's really important for everyone to understand here is that all of these results, no matter what AI search engine or the person using it is, they're all going to be personalized. But this just helps give you a top-level overview of kind of how you can see what's being mentioned, sourced in these search results. If we see here a prompt such as, where can I buy an eSIM for travel? We can see here there's a number of different sources that are featured and help returning those results. And whether that is someone in Forbes, whether it's more of like your traditional kind of write-ups on these blogger websites, you can get a real good idea of what's being used to influence these search results. And if you're using some of these tools that are available more recently, this is a snapshot from Peak, who I think are actually one of the sponsors of the event today. What I really like about some of these tools is that it helps break it down by whether it's UGC content, editorial, other, or corporate. And what you're able to do, if you're working for an in-house brand, is that you can work out which team to distribute this to and how you can really get yourself featured in these results as well. Something that Ashley mentioned on his last talk comes into my second tip. So community mentions are also really, a really good way to help increase your brand reputation, improve reputation management, and help influence what you can get cited for in AI search results. So for those of you that aren't aware, Google paid Reddit 60 million a few months ago, might be a year ago now, to help basically train the data of their results. So ultimately, it's using Reddit results to help return information that we're seeing in the LLMs. Now, this stat is outdated now, because things have been changing almost every single day. But the number of LLMs that are being used to source Reddit, Google AI Overviews is definitely one of the highest. All of the others have dropped recently. And the reason for this, well, one of the reasons that's been theorized for this, it's not necessarily because they don't want to use it anymore. It's because Google's actually restricting what data they're able to scrape from the search results. If, for example, ChatGPT is going to start using Reddit API rather than Google directly for this, it costs them a lot more money. So they're looking for other ways in order to kind of get their results. But it's still useful, even if you're not ranking on ChatGPT. By using Reddit results, you still want to be. It's still a massive search engine, and it's still a big place where a lot of users go. So building communities there is a really useful way to help improve your visibility. What we do here is that we can help use these tools, kind of reverse engineer the citations, and get our brand kind of featured in there. Now, I think some important takeaways of this as well is that you don't want to be spamming these search engines. It might work short term, but it's probably going to, they're going to catch up sooner or later if you are trying this sort of thing. One of the best strategies we've seen lately is companies actually creating their own subreddits, their own communities, and helping to connect with their customers there more naturally and influence results and conversations in a more organic way. The last tip I'm going to show you before moving on to the reporting, and I think one of my favorite ways of helping to influence results, is with data campaigns. Now, this example helped us win the US Search Awards earlier on this year, but our objective for our client in the travel space, they do luxury villas in Greece. I've not been invited yet, hoping to get one soon. But ultimately, our goal here was to build brand awareness in both traditional and AI search engines for customers when they were searching for luxury European holidays, specifically Greece. And previously, these guys weren't showing in any AI search engines at all. So what we were doing was putting together a number of campaigns. And what we were looking to do here was help influence the AI search engines by highlighting that Greece was one of the top destinations that they could visit. Now, what's really important about this, and I think what's going to become more and more prevalent with digital PR when it comes to these types of campaigns, is that crystal clear methodologies with accurate data are going to be more important than ever. This isn't just from a campaign perspective, this is from ethical reasons as well. Newsrooms are tightening up, and they're putting further verification, SOPs in place, because there's been a big rise in fake experts when it comes to digital PR. And these are some of the stories we've seen recently. But Propellernet actually had a really good podcast on this that came out a couple of months ago. Well worth listening to if you haven't listened to it already. But, providing fabricated methodologies around travel is one thing. But if we're seeing cases of fabricated methodologies for people giving mental health advice, this is going out to millions of readers. So there's been a big problem with this recently. And, if there is someone that is reading an article in The Guardian with tips on how to deal with anxiety, and it's been written by a fake AI expert with a fake website, I mean, it's no good. It's not just unethical from a campaign perspective, but it's irresponsible thing to do as a marketer. So if anyone is doing that, pack it in, because I've seen a lot of it recently. But ultimately, the next steps of this, once you've generated these campaigns, you've completed your outreach, coverage comes in, we were able to see beforehand that Greece wasn't a result at all in any of the LLMs, which were coming up in search results. But what we were able to see within weeks, what's quite interesting here was that not only was Greece starting to show up in the search results for keywords like cheapest luxury vacations, our campaigns were the only sources cited for this result. And I believe this is because of the concepts that I'm talking about earlier. We're highlighting Greece as a tourist destination. Affordability metrics is created by the index. And then when you're looking at things such as popularity and authority, from all of the mentions, the coverage, the links, the social citations that you're getting, this is what's helping influence those search results, not just across AI overviews, but also all of these other AI search results as well. So the key takeaways for this are, if you're building these campaigns in-house, you want relevant data that you're able to contextualize and back up with clear and honest methodologies. You want to be getting them picked up, trustworthy and relevant publications, and also, being cited multiple times, because that helps build on the knowledge graph, reinforce those relationships, and ultimately help influence those results. Now, the last slides that I want to go through is on reporting. And again, I think we're in a stage now, it's been brought up in quite a few talks, is that a lot of the tools that are out at the moment, none of them are 100%. But as marketers, digital PRs, if you want to be retaining your clients, keeping your jobs, showing your value to C-suite, we need to be showing something. So, how we can demonstrate what impact our work is having is more important than ever. So one of the tools that I mentioned earlier was Peak. This is one of my favorite at the moment. I've been spent thousands on different tools at the moment, but this is definitely one of the best ones we've been looking at. It's great for looking at visibility from a top level. What I really like about this one is that it supports a lot of different LLMs. So it's not just ChatGPT, you can filter it by AI overviews, etc. etc. And they've also offers a connection to Looker Studio, so you can plug it straight into your reports. Really, really good tool. And what's also interesting about this as well, it doesn't just do this with Reddit, it does it with all citations. It shows you what your brand's being cited for, but more importantly, what you're not being cited for. So it's really good. Pass it to your outreach teams, help get yourself featured, get yourself placed within the conversation. Second tool, LLM refs. It's, I'd say it's second in line at the moment. I've not tried them all. I'll just preface it with that. But what I really like about this tool is that it helps show brand rankings, share of voice. Again, just adds a real another level of reporting when it comes to kind of demonstrating your results with digital PR work. And what's also nice here is that you can kind of break it down by different brands, different sources. Again, there's lots of information there, what you can do. Last tool is we use Meltwater, a lot of Minty. It's not the cheapest, but it's really, really good for helping to ascertain your value as digital PRs. Outside of mentions, brand sentiment, social signals, what it also allows you to do is help report on AVE. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's quite an old traditional PR style metric, and some say it's rather outdated in the world of digital PR, but what it does actually allow you to do is ascertain and assign a value to the PR work that you're doing, which of course, when you're trying to show return on investment, is just great as an indicator. So all of these methods that I've been showing you today, I'm hoping they're going to help give you a bit of guidance and a bit of an extra layer of value when doing your work or reporting to your clients. And I'm sure it's been a lot of information, not just from these talks, but from everything over the last few days. But one of the last takeaways that I'd really like to give you today is this great study from Leda Solis. She recently run a survey that's saying now it's 91% of SEOs are reporting that decision makers and clients are asking about AI search visibility. So if it wasn't a consideration for 2025, when it comes into 2026, it's going to be an absolute non-negotiable. So make sure you're implementing some of these tactics into your strategies. Make sure you're building out your reporting so you're not running blind. And ultimately, hope you can use these tips to help improve your work moving forward to the new year. Thank you. If you want to connect on LinkedIn, you can.
Demand Sphere. Limitless visual insights from the SERPs. Unlimited dashboards and users. Easy to use and easy to scale your growth to new levels.
You've got two blind spots, keyword rankings and LLM visibility. Now, most tools solve one, but AccuRanker solves both. See how at booth number 18.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.
Wait, before you go, want to stay on track with where search is heading? Download Search Pulse by Reflect Digital today. It's game-changing.